That it's all dark in here. How's it going, everybody? Jim Adkins here from Adkins Results Coaching and Service Announcement. I realized that my first scheduled show for Friday didn't upload. I got some calls and some emails and stuff, some call outs that they were looking for it. I'd uploaded it, and apparently my tech savvy skill set is just not where it needs to be. I will try to re-upload Friday's episode, and you can look forward to it every Friday at the same time, 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. It depends on 8 or 9 o'clock. I'm going to have to figure out what went wrong on here and see what happens there. Okay, so Monday morning, December 2nd. What I've got for you today is I had a friend of mine, Rodasi, who you saw me go live with a couple of weeks ago, who is also an intuitive healer, asked me some questions about coaching. She's learning to be a coach, and she's reaching out into this area, and she sent me a fairly detailed, long list of ideas that she's questioning that she'd like to talk about. And I read them to you once. And what I'd like to do today is kind of start with the respectful and understanding one. There are questions about relationships. There's questions about blockage. There's questions about how we do things. Right now, the question is this. She asks me my opinion on what do I think about how to be respectful and understanding of men and women both. That question puzzles me. I'll come back to it in a minute. I want to break this down into pieces, but it says again, how to be respectful and understanding of men and women both. She goes on to say, there's so much confusion today around how to behave. Don't open the door, open the door. Her question about chivalry is it dead? Some women are super sensitive and even mean, she says, when a knucklehead guy, I'm not sure that's the right word you should use, Rodasi, knucklehead, but I understand. A knucklehead guy is appreciating her in a way that she feels is inappropriate. Let me try and explain that question or sentence real quick, too. Some women are super sensitive and mean when a knucklehead guy is appreciating her in a way that she feels is inappropriate. I would imagine that's, hooting and hollering or yelling or saying something in public out loud that is not as chivalrous, or we'll come back to that question. But I think you guys understand the question right there. How do we recognize our own boundaries and boundaries of others in general? Evolve and trust. Be compassionate and aware. Okay. Lots of big questions, right? Well, let's do some housekeeping first. How was your Thanksgiving? Did you wake up? Were you grateful? Are you still here? Did you gain 50 pounds? Did you set your scale back 15? Did you get to see people you haven't seen in a while? Talk to some people in the family that you haven't talked to in a while. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. As we move into December, remember, this is the time of reflection. And what I'd like you to do is to reflect on all of the wonderful accomplishments that you had last year. It's not always just about, looking forward. We want forward. We want to set our goals. We want to make sure that we have those in the state them in the positive, state them in the now, have the time frame, be able to monitor, measure them, all of those wonderful things that I can help you with. But remember, from time to time, it's okay to look back and reflect at the wonderful accomplishments that you've already done. Sometimes it's necessary just to remind yourself of all the great things. We've got people that move forward and push and raise the bar, and as they get close to a goal, they lift it a little more. So they're really never feeling the sense of fulfillment and achievement in achieving a goal, because they're pushing themselves to that next level, which can be good and can be not as great in the area of fulfillment as you'd want it to be. So don't forget to look back at the things that you used to think were impossible, the dreams you used to have that you've accomplished. Pat yourself on the back. All right, let's move forward. So this is a workshop, interactive workshop. I want interaction. I'm going to post this on Facebook, and I'm going to ask people to chime in. Rodasi, I'm going to tag you in this. I want you to have your people chime in too as we answer some of these questions. I want to know how they feel. First question: how to be respectful and understanding of men and women both? Well, My first thought, and listen, I'm not the end all be all expert here, but I am a pretty good coach and I've been doing this for a long time. But I can tell you this, because of what I do and how I do it, I surround myself with some pretty fantastic people, some pretty incredibly awesome, beautiful, respectful people. And I kind of get jaded to the idea that there are people out there who don't respect others. And this kind of leads it to say because of their gender. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may have misunderstood the question, but the question looks like, you know, some women won't respect men and some men won't respect women. And it says how to be respectful of both. Listen, we're people. Respect should be given. Okay. Respect comes from you. It's not something they need to pull from you. This is just my idea. Okay. When it comes to respect, respect is not something that other people should have to pull from you. It should be given. Now, respect, trust, and loyalty are all three different things that kind of exist in the same realm, right? But let's talk about respect for a minute. As a person, as a human being, as an American, whatever you want to do there, I mean, that's kind of even a separatist idea as an earthling, okay? Even though it's true that there are differences. As an earthling, I respect everybody out of the gate. Out of the gate. I try to act with respect at all times. I think that's the key to understanding other people. Well, the key to the start of an understanding, right, is to offer that respect as a respectful person. Can others respect you if you're not respectful? Well, you can't control how others respond, act, or even what they think of you. You can't. All you can really do is control yourself. So act with respect. So that's where we start. We start with ourselves. And if you separate people by men and women in categories of division, now physically, yes, absolutely. But when it comes to respect or love, I got to believe that there's no difference. I can't, um, I can't. I just don't see it. So I'm asking you, how do you feel about that? Now, we're not going to talk about the gender specific or gender neutrality or gender equality, or that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is respecting human beings, men and women, and understanding the differences. Are there differences? Absolutely, there are differences. Embrace those differences. Okay. If the difference between two people exists to the point to where there is a lack of connection, meaning this person's beliefs are way out of line with your beliefs, and there's just really no sense in creating a relationship, you can still respect them as a human. You can still respect them to have their own opinion. It's their disrespectful actions that will create the feeling of the gap. Does that make sense? I hope I'm kind of making sense. So going to try and keep it short because I want you to answer. And boy, this is going to be a good week. We're going to try and do it all week if we can. But I really want to help solve this if possible. The question was how to be respectful and understanding of men and women both. And I think I touched on my feelings. I've got a lot more feelings about it, but I want to hear from you. Is chivalry dead? There's so much confusion today around how to behave. Listen, again, I'll say it. You are not in control of what other people, how they think about you or how they feel about you. It's none of your business. If it interferes or creates problems, then cut them loose. Don't hang around. But if you can't cut them loose because maybe they're your boss or they're your employee and you don't want to do that to them, or even their family and they're really close, you need to draw some boundaries. And this is where she goes on to say, where do we find our own boundaries? Well, you decide, you choose them, but choose them respectfully. You don't have to be a knucklehead or a jerk to eliminate stress, to eliminate dis-ease, to eliminate the problem. I don't want to say children, but the problems in your area. You don't have to be mean about it. Can you be adamant and determined? Yeah, absolutely. But you can do it with respectful tone. If they lose respect for you and you've done everything you can to be a respectful person, that's on them. That's on them. If you if someone loses your respect by their actions, it's going to be up to you, where you draw your line for the gap. You stay in your corner, I'll stay in mine. I still respect you as a human being. I don't trust you anymore, or I don't appreciate your actions, but I still respect the idea that you're a human being. Now, are there gray areas? I would imagine so. I have met some people that it is very hard to continue to respect in any capacity, but I still act with respect. Do you understand that? I have met some people, and listen, they're still around there, and I'm sure there's others out there who are not respectful people, and it is very hard to respect them, even as an earthling. But to act with respect is my choice. My choice. They don't get to choose how I respond or react when they're around. They don't, and they're not around because that's how I choose. But do they still exist? Yeah. Does that make sense? Okay, is chivalry dead? Not within me. Okay. Have I ever encountered uh, somebody I've held the door for? Listen, I'll hold the door for gentlemen just as much as I will women. If I'm there and I'm holding, and I can open the door, and it seems like a natural thing to do, I'm gonna do it. Have I ever had anybody get angry about it? Not really angry, no. It's been a long time, but I did have one person, a lady, say, "No, thank you, I got that." And I'm not sure how her day was going. I didn't stop to ask, but what do? You let them have the door, right? So is chivalry dead? No, ma'am. No, sir. Not in everybody. Um, do you want it to die? Are you the type of person who is offended by somebody holding the door for you? If you are, I think you need to go deeper and find out what's going on there. I mean, that's an act. I can't say this across the board. Listen, there may be people out there that do it to be condescending. There may be people out there to do it to be sarcastic or mean. I don't know anybody like that. I have never met anybody like that, but I can't rule it out. I don't know everybody yet, right? But how you respond is your choice. It's not their what they it's none of your business what they feel or think. If they're being polite and respectful, accept it. How do you feel? Have I defined a question yet? I know I'm running rampant here, right? Let's go real quick. Some women are super sensitive and mean when a knucklehead guy appreciates her in a way that she feels is inappropriate. Where are the boundaries and where do you define inappropriate? Well, I think we can, and this would just be me, my interpretation, okay? You let me know how you feel. If you're in a public setting where other things might be inappropriate, if you're a respectful person and you act with kindness and you act with love and you act with joy, even if you're having a bad day, I totally understand that, and you're in a public place, anything that you wouldn't normally do in public, you probably shouldn't share verbally with other people. I think she might be mentioning things like when, and I don't know if this still happens. I really don't. Like I said, I surround myself with some pretty incredible people. I don't know anybody that I have in my circle that would do this, but they're me. Someone yells out something about a woman's appearance, how she's sexy or the way she's dressed or something that's a compliment in public, in a huge public setting that might be embarrassing to her. Is that respectful, even though the guy's trying to show his admiration, or even the girl's trying to show her admiration for the guy in that way? Is it the correct thing to do? Well, I can't say that everybody has the same standards and level of respect or even how to function in society. But if it's inappropriate, I think it's okay to let somebody know that that's not appropriate. If you choose to ignore it and move on, that's probably the best thing. I don't know. It's going to be up to you, right? Um, is it your responsibility to school everybody and to teach everybody how they're supposed to act? If it happens more than once, or maybe you need to. I don't know. You tell me what you think. I do believe that it is okay to appreciate the efforts of somebody to change, grow, transform, look good, feel good. I pay attention. It's one of my superpowers. And what I mean by that is people will cut their hair and they'll feel really good about it. Or they'll feel, new hairstyle, men and women. And I may not notice the haircut all the time, but what I notice is the way they carry themselves. And I will mention it. I won't yell across the street to do it. Hey, your hair looks great today, but I will mention it to people. Hey, did you cut your hair? It looks really good. Why? Because it's sincere, and I'm okay. Appreciate. I hope that doesn't offend anybody. Would that offend you? I notice when people are wearing a new outfit and they feel good about it. And you can tell by the way they carry themselves. And it's mostly women. Guys don't really walk around, with their brand new jeans on, feeling good about it. They don't care. Most guys just put on some jeans and go, right? Or some slacks, whatever. But women will, they'll buy that special something and wear it and feel great about themselves. And to recognize that, and to even say something about it or just appreciate it, as long as it's not in a big public loud setting or in a disrespectful manner, I think it should be okay. I would appreciate if someone looked at me and said, you know what? And I get this every once in a while about my hat, but someone said, hey, is that a new outfit? Because I get the same ones all the time. It looks good on you. I would love that if they were being sincere. I don't know. How do you feel about that? This is a weird topic, isn't it? I think the topic that I really want to cover, boundaries, how do we trust and be compassionate and be aware? The question that I want to ask you is, do you have a feeling about understanding and respecting men and women? And is there a difference for you? Do you have boundaries or limits on your respect? And how do you feel about my statement that it's not about how they see you to them. It's about how you emanate or emulate even your love and respect in an outward manner. How do you feel about that? All right. Jim Adkins, I'll check back in with you tomorrow. I'm definitely going to post this. I want you guys to answer some questions. We'll come back and we'll do some of the other stuff too. But this is question number 1. And I will repost Friday for you. Let me know what you're talking about, what you think about it. And until I see you next time, if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe. If you like the video, give me the thumbs up. If you don't, leave me a comment. Be respectful. But I'm open to suggestions. All right, guys, I love you. On your mark, get set. Have a great December.